As we age, it becomes increasingly clear that the human body is far more interconnected than we were once taught, and nowhere is this more evident than in the complex and astonishing link between the gut and the brain. In seniors over 60, memory loss is often attributed solely to aging, dementia, or Alzheimer's disease. But mounting scientific evidence now points to a hidden culprit that has been quietly deteriorating brain function from deep within the body: chronic gut problems. That's right, the bacteria, inflammation, and imbalances lurking in your digestive system could be sabotaging your memory, attention span, and even your personality. The gut-brain axis, a powerful communication network between the gastrointestinal tract and the central nervous system, plays a central role in regulating mood, cognition, and memory. In a healthy adult, the gut is populated with trillions of beneficial bacteria that help digest food, regulate the immune system, and even produce neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and gamma-aminobutyric acid, GABA, chemicals crucial for calm, clear thinking. But over time, especially after age 60, changes in diet, medications like antacids and antibiotics, reduced mobility, and slower metabolism can severely disrupt the gut microbiome. This disruption, known as dysbiosis, can lead to the overgrowth of harmful bacteria, yeast, and fungi, which produce toxins that damage the intestinal lining and allow inflammatory compounds to leak into the bloodstream, a condition referred to as leaky gut. Once these toxins reach the brain through the bloodstream or via the vagus nerve, a superhighway of communication between gut and brain, they can trigger neuroinflammation, which impairs memory formation and recall. Seniors with unaddressed gut issues often experience early signs of cognitive decline that are mistaken for normal aging: forgetting names, losing the thread of conversations, misplacing items, or struggling to follow instructions. What's worse is that these issues tend to escalate subtly, making them easy to ignore until the damage is more advanced. Moreover, gut-related inflammation can interfere with the production of acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter involved in learning and memory, which is already in decline in older adults. But what causes this gut imbalance in the first place? Hidden factors like chronic constipation, undiagnosed food sensitivities, poor hydration, low fiber intake, excessive sugar, and long-term use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, all silently contribute to the erosion of gut health. Even stress, especially the kind that comes with major life transitions and retirement, loss of loved ones, or financial insecurity, can suppress digestive enzymes and promote the growth of pathogenic bacteria. Inflammation in the gut doesn't always show up with obvious symptoms like bloating or discomfort. For many seniors, the first red flag is brain fog, that frustrating sense of mental cloudiness, slow thinking, and fatigue that doesn't go away with sleep. Over time, if left untreated, this condition can progress into mild cognitive impairment or even contribute to Alzheimer's pathology. The good news is that many of these effects are reversible with targeted interventions. Studies now show that restoring gut health through diet, lifestyle, and specific supplementation can improve cognitive clarity, boost memory retention, and even reverse early signs of decline. But before we get into solutions, it's crucial to first understand just how deep this connection runs and why ignoring gut health may be one of the biggest medical oversights in senior care today. Doctors are increasingly recognizing that the gastrointestinal system is not just a digestive organ, but a major player in neurological well-being. The enteric nervous system, often referred to as the second brain, contains over 100 million neurons and produces more serotonin than the brain itself. Any imbalance here doesn't just impact digestion. It alters how we feel, think, and remember. Seniors who suffer from frequent acid reflux, IBS, diarrhea, or constipation are not just experiencing physical discomfort. They are receiving critical warning signs from the body that something deeper is wrong. And what's particularly alarming is that these gut-brain interactions can occur without any gut symptoms at all, making it even harder to identify the root cause of memory problems. As we continue, you'll discover just how intricately the gut influences memory, which hidden gut disorders are most commonly overlooked by doctors, and how you can begin healing your digestive system to sharpen your mind and protect your brain well into your later years. Keep watching because what you're about to learn could radically change how you view memory loss, and more importantly, what you can do about it starting today. When we think about memory loss, it's easy to imagine it as a standalone brain issue, something that happens in the mind and nowhere else. But the more researchers study the human body, the more undeniable the gut's role in this equation becomes, especially for seniors over 60. One of the most overlooked truths in geriatric medicine is that your digestive health may actually be the single most important predictor of your cognitive resilience. Why? Because the trillions of bacteria in your intestines, collectively known as your gut microbiota, are not just bystanders. They are biochemical factories producing critical substances that your brain relies on to function. This microbiota influences everything from the permeability of your blood-brain barrier to the speed at which your brain cells fire. When your gut is balanced and nourished, these bacteria create short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, such as butyrate, which reduce inflammation and strengthen brain cell communication. But when the gut becomes imbalanced due to diet, stress, medication, or sedentary lifestyle, these same bacteria start pumping out toxic byproducts like lipopolysaccharides, LPS, compounds that have been directly linked to brain inflammation, memory impairment, and even neurodegenerative diseases. Now consider this. The average senior over 60 takes more than 5 medications daily, many of which, including proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, painkillers for arthritis, and antibiotics for infections, dramatically alter the gut microbiome. These medications don't just kill bad bacteria, they kill beneficial ones too, leading to lower microbial diversity and leaving the gut vulnerable to colonization by harmful species such as Clostridium difficile or Candida yeast. Once these invaders gain control, they suppress nutrient absorption, trigger systemic inflammation, and flood the bloodstream with compounds that confuse and fatigue the brain. And if you think probiotics alone will fix this, think again. While certain probiotic strains can help, they're only part of the picture. Without addressing diet and inflammation, simply taking a pill won't repair the damage. Seniors with cognitive complaints often show signs of what's called gut-brain axis dysfunction, where communication between the two organs becomes impaired, leading to misfiring brain circuits and memory glitches. What's especially alarming is that many early signs go unnoticed because they're so subtle. A senior may suddenly forget appointments, repeat themselves in conversation, struggle to find common words, or feel emotionally flat. Families often brush this off as just getting older, but it's the gut signaling that the brain is under attack. Furthermore, deficiencies in key nutrients like magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B12, all commonly malabsorbed when gut health is poor, add to the cognitive burden. These nutrients are vital for neurotransmitter synthesis and myelin repair, two things the aging brain desperately needs to keep memory sharp. Even chronic constipation, a common but downplayed issue among older adults, may be an early red flag for gut dysfunction that is interfering with toxin elimination and slowing down the entire body's detoxification process. Left unchecked, this backup of waste materials can lead to a continual low-grade toxicity in the bloodstream, which quietly degrades brain performance day after day. The connection between bowel health and mental clarity is so strong that some researchers are now calling Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes because of the similar insulin resistance seen in both the brain and the gut. And here's where it gets even more urgent. Many seniors consume diets low in fiber and high in processed foods, which starves good bacteria and feeds the wrong ones. These seniors often rely on toast, cereal, canned soup, or crackers, foods that are quick and easy, but nutritionally bankrupt. Without diverse plant fibers, fermented foods, and polyphenol from colorful fruits and vegetables, the microbiome cannot flourish. And without a thriving microbiome, the brain becomes isolated, vulnerable, and inflamed. If you or a loved one over 60 has noticed increasing forgetfulness, poor sleep, irritability, or unexplained fatigue, it may not be just aging. It may be your gut crying out for help. And sadly, this is rarely tested by traditional doctors unless there are extreme symptoms. The medical system still tends to silo body systems, treating gut symptoms with laxatives and brain symptoms with memory pills, when in reality the two are part of one interconnected whole. The implications of this are massive, because it means that healing the gut could be the missing link to not only slowing, but even reversing early cognitive decline. Stay tuned, because the next section dives into the exact foods, habits, and hidden triggers that can either sabotage your brain or save it, all beginning with what you put in your mouth and how your body digests it. To understand just how deeply your gut health can determine your memory performance and overall brain vitality, we must examine the invisible chain reaction that occurs from the moment food enters your mouth. For seniors over 60, this process is often compromised by declining digestive enzyme production, reduced stomach acid, and slower gut motility, all of which hinder proper breakdown and absorption of nutrients essential for memory, like choline, folate, and omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients are not optional. They are foundational. Choline is a key precursor for acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter most responsible for memory formation and retention. Yet, a staggering number of older adults are choline deficient simply because their digestive tracts no longer extract it efficiently from food. The result is not just a foggy memory, but a brain starved of its most essential messaging molecules. Moreover, when digestion is impaired, the door is left wide open for gut permeability, a dangerous condition often referred to as leaky gut, where microscopic holes in the intestinal wall allow undigested food particles, bacteria, and inflammatory molecules to enter the bloodstream and reach the brain. This chronic immune activation causes low-level inflammation throughout the body, and over time, leads to the very neuroinflammation seen in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. It's a quiet war inside the body, often with no symptoms more dramatic than mild bloating or irregular bowel habits, yet affects memory, mood, and even personality. Seniors may find themselves more irritable, emotionally numb, or less motivated, not realizing these are gut-driven brain symptoms. What makes this issue even more insidious is that common medical interventions often make it worse. Seniors prescribed antacids for heartburn, for instance, are rarely told that long-term use suppresses stomach acid needed for calcium, magnesium, and B12 absorption. Over time, these deficiencies not only weaken bones and energy levels, but also contribute to cognitive decline. Similarly, cholesterol-lowering medications like statins can deplete CoQ10, a vital nutrient for mitochondrial energy in both the heart and the brain. And what happens when your brain cells can't produce enough energy? They shrink, misfire, and die, silently and progressively. The gut-brain axis is also home to our second nervous system, the enteric nervous system, which has over 100 million neurons and sends more signals to the brain than it receives. When that system becomes imbalanced, either through poor diet, chronic stress, or unchecked inflammation, the quality of the signals sent to the brain deteriorates. Instead of messages of calm, clarity, and well-being, the brain begins receiving static, inflammatory cytokines, stress hormones, and endotoxins that muddy its ability to process, store, and recall information. Seniors may then notice that once easy cognitive tasks like remembering appointments, managing a calendar, or keeping track of medications become frustratingly difficult. They may even start avoiding social situations out of fear of embarrassing memory lapses, further isolating themselves, which worsens brain health in yet another vicious cycle. Emerging science also shows that the microbiome plays a crucial role in serotonin and dopamine production, hormones that regulate mood and motivation. A depleted or imbalanced microbiome means lower natural production of these neurochemicals, contributing to the emotional flatness, anxiety, or depression often seen in older adults with no apparent cause. And tragically, many are then prescribed antidepressants, which can further damage the gut lining and microbiota diversity. It's a snowball effect that begins in the gut but ends in the mind. On the other hand, when the gut is cared for through proper nutrition, fermented foods, prebiotic fiber, and stress reduction techniques, something remarkable happens. Seniors often report not just better digestion, but clearer thinking, brighter moods, deeper sleep, and sharper memory. Their motivation returns, they feel socially engaged again, and most importantly, they regain a sense of control over their own health. This is not a miracle. It's biology functioning the way it was designed to when the internal environment is restored. It underscores that memory issues are not always irreversible, and many symptoms attributed to aging are actually the result of decades of silent gut dysfunction. Seniors deserve to know that forgetfulness is not always a one-way street. There is hope, and it lies not in another pill or brain game, but in the foods they eat, the bacteria they feed, and the inflammation they quiet. In the final section, we'll break down the most powerful daily habits seniors can adopt today to heal their gut and protect their memory. Practical, science-backed steps that can be implemented from the comfort of their own kitchen and dining table. Healing the gut and restoring memory in seniors is not about overhauling everything overnight. It's about reintroducing the body to habits and nutrients it's been silently deprived of for years, sometimes decades. One of the most powerful daily changes a senior can make starts first thing in the morning, with the simple yet profound decision to start the day with warm water and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or fresh lemon juice. This not only jumpstarts digestive enzymes and bowel production, but gently stimulates the stomach's hydrochloric acid, essential for proper nutrient breakdown, particularly vitamin B12, magnesium, and zinc, all of which play irreplaceable roles in brain function. Following this, breakfast should no longer be a rushed affair centered around toast or cereal. Instead, opt for gut-friendly, brain-boosting meals like soft-boiled eggs with avocado and sauerkraut, or a smoothie made with kefir, spinach, flax seeds, and wild blueberries, all designed to feed beneficial gut bacteria and reduce systemic inflammation. And speaking of bacteria, one of the most effective ways to heal the gut lining is to consistently consume fermented foods rich in probiotics, such as kimchi, yogurt, miso, or tempeh. But just as important as the probiotics are the prebiotics, the dietary fibers that feed them, found in foods like garlic, onions, asparagus, oats, and bananas. Together, these create a flourishing gut ecosystem that not only supports digestion, but communicates efficiently with the brain through the vagus nerve and the metabolites they produce, including short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which is known to reduce brain inflammation and support memory function. Seniors should also prioritize magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, and dark chocolate, because magnesium deficiency is rampant in older adults and directly contributes to anxiety, sleep disturbances, and memory fog. Another crucial habit is mindful eating, chewing slowly, avoiding processed sugars and seed oils, and spacing meals to give the gut time to rest and repair. Exercise plays a dual role here too, not just in maintaining mobility and heart health, but in increasing the diversity of gut flora. Even just 20 minutes of daily walking can enhance gut microbiome health and support blood flow to the hippocampus, the memory center of the brain. Seniors should also be conscious of how stress affects their gut. Chronic worry or anxiety slows digestion, disrupts the balance of gut flora, and causes a surge in cortisol, a stress hormone that actively shrinks areas of the brain involved in learning and memory. Practices like deep breathing, meditation, journaling, and nature walks not only soothe the nervous system, but also improve the resilience of the gut-brain axis. Hydration, often overlooked, is another piece of the puzzle. The digestive tract depends on adequate fluid to keep things moving, flush toxins, and allow nutrients to be absorbed efficiently. And lastly, reviewing medications with a healthcare provider to identify any that may be harming gut health, from NSAIDs to PPIs to unnecessary antibiotics, can be life-changing. Once these root causes are addressed, it's not uncommon for seniors to feel like a veil has lifted, sharper recall, better sleep, lighter mood, and more confidence in social interactions. The gut is not a passive organ, and memory is not just a brain function. It's a whole body process that begins at the very first bite of food. This truth is empowering. It means that cognitive decline is not always inevitable, and that with simple, consistent changes, seniors can reclaim their vitality, clarity, and dignity. If you found this information helpful, be sure to share this video with your loved ones, especially if they're over 60 and experiencing memory issues that doctors have written off as just aging. And if you'd like to continue learning powerful, science-backed ways to support your health, boost your energy, and protect your independence as you age, then please subscribe to our channel, Healthful Living 60+. We release weekly videos just like this one, full of practical tips, natural solutions, and breakthrough insights that every senior deserves to know. Tap the notification bell so you never miss a video that could change your life or someone you care about. Remember, your health is in your hands, and it's never too late to start healing from the inside out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.